Vice Principal, HOS, supervisors, teachers, non-teaching staff, and my dear students. The Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, also known as the Global Goals, were adopted by the United Nations in 2015 as a universal call to action to end poverty, protect the planet, and ensure that by 2030, all people enjoy peace and prosperity. The SDGs are the blueprint to achieve a better and more sustainable future. They address the global challenges we face, including poverty, inequality, climate change, environmental degradation, peace, and justice. The UAE's National Committee on SDGs was formed to implement the SDGs. The committee facilitates the alignment to the SDGs, sharing of information, and supports the implementation of the SDGs in an integrated manner. It has 17 members who are responsible for the national implementation of its SDGs, monitoring and reporting the progress towards the targets and stakeholder engagements. It ensures alignment of the SDGs with the national agenda and the UAE National Wellbeing Strategy. The committee partners with youth, private sector, and knowledge institutions to implement the SDGs. The Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, or Global Goals, are a collection of 17 interlinked global goals designed to be a blueprint to achieve a better and more sustainable future for all. It concerns each and every one of us when we think of a better world to live in. Achieving the goals will be impossible without the participation and cooperation of everyone. We are incorporating it in our curriculum, and hence we play our part and to chalk out ways and means to implement it in our school. Today we have called this meeting. Let us join hands and work together for a better future. Wish you all peace and happiness. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for your inspiring words and explaining what is all about the Sustainable Development Goals initiated by United Nations in 2015. It was indeed a very good explanation. So for further briefing about this SDG, I would like to call upon our respected Vice Principal, Mr. A.M. Sharif. So.
Honorable Principal, Head of Sections, Supervisors, colleagues, as well as my dear students who are attending this session remotely, as most of you are attending the classes remotely. A very fine morning to you all. You have assembled here today to discuss, to hear, to understand, as well as a formal inauguration of the SDG Club of the boys section. SDG Goals, as conveyed, and as most of you already understood, is the Sustainable Development Goals. The development must be sustainable. Sustainable development is the development that is existing, lasting for long. Some developments may fade out or may be replaced, but the Sustainable Development Goals proposed by the UN in the year 2015 and expected to be achieved by 2030 are sustainable. And if these goals have to be sustainable, our involvement is very much required. Being students, you have your own role, and being the future leaders, future generation, you have the role. For that, you have to understand, you have to recognize, and you have to be part of these programs wherever you can. So you have to start the participation at schools. That's why the school has taken up this program with the most priority, and we are planning to implement this program through the entire children, means through all students. For that, we are, or you are participating the goal by participating in different programs, taking 1 or 2 SDG goals. Through this, we are aiming 2 things. 1, your development for the future, your participation for the future, ensuring your role in attaining such goals. Moreover, being students, you have to develop your skills. You have to develop your skill of understanding, skill of analyzing, skill of manipulating, skill of interpreting. So this is a chance for you all to develop your skills as well. And these skills will help you to develop your future and to support the fellow being, the countries or the institutions where you work to attain such goals. We are taking up this SDG goal through 2-tiered system that will be explained here after my speech. So I'm not going for the discussion. I wish you all the best. My humble request is you should realize the importance of SDG and take part as far as you can in all the programs. Wishing you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for this information regarding the SDG and especially your words as the life skills. Yes, my dear all, the life skills are very much required to attain any sort of goals in our life and to make our life very happy and to put the entire world in such a situation that we'll get all the resources and we can also put it for our next generation. So that is also called the responsible citizen. So the responsibility comes from the inner side, and it was beautifully described by our respected vice principal. To extend with this, I'd like to call upon our student affairs manager, Mr. I.J. Nazari, to felicitate the auspicious gathering. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Honorable Principal, colleagues, and my dear students, a heartiest good morning. We are here in virtual meeting for launching the program in connection with the sustainable development. First of all, we have to know the objectives of the sustainable development. Sustainable development is the development that meet the needs of the present without compromising the ability of the future generations to meet their own needs. There are 17 goals in sustainable development, including no poverty, no hunger, quality education, gender equality, etc. Whatever may be your contribution to the sustainable development, please do it, your work, honestly, sincerely, and in dedicated manner, not for the fame. Don't go behind the fame. Fame will come behind you. In your classes, you may be studied, or you are well aware of that. Many scientists and many great personalities got acceptance after their death. Acceptance of your work is very important. That if you are doing your work honestly and sincerely, the acceptance will come behind you. Then you know that majority of us may be seen a satirical Malayalam comedy movie, Pranjiyatan. Actually, what is that story? Pranjiyatan attempts to get a good name for himself. Underline the words, for himself. He tried to change his name from Adi Pranji to Padmashri Pranj. He bribes the politicians. End of the story, you know well. Through this conversation or through my speech, I am trying to converse to you, my dear students, whatever may be your work in connection with the sustainable development, do it sincerely, honestly, and in dedicated manner for the upliftment of the entire world. Success is yours. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much. It is well explained about how to adapt and cope up with the habits so that we can execute it in our daily life to achieve any sort of target that is actually very good for our society. And of course, we shall make it as a habit for our future generations so that it could be an example. Thank you so very much, sir. Now, I would like to call upon the HOS boys, Mr. Abdul Rashid, to describe the transformation the world through sustainable development goals. Over to you, sir.
Honorable Principal, Vice Principal, Manager Student Affairs, my dear colleagues, and my dear loving students. Good morning to one and all. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sustainable Development Goals. The words are a little bit complex, maybe like uncrackable nuts. Some may feel like a bad pill to swallow, but we have to crush it. We have to crack the nut somehow. Before turning into the SDG goals, I would like to share a story, a moral story at the very outset with you. I very strongly believe that stories can transmit messages from heart to heart. And it will leave, the spark will be left in the heart of heart for a long time. So I would like to explore the possibility of telling story. Okay, my dear students. There was a hungry beggar. He visited a rich man's house and requested for something to eat. The rich man was very, very kind and generous. He gave him a very warm welcome and invited to inside his house. And then the rich man gave him some soup. The beggar finished it very quickly. Then the rich man asked the beggar, "Do you want more?" He said, "No, thanks." It's enough for me. No, thanks. It's enough for me. This was the response of the beggar. Then, the rich man went inside and brought a big plate of meals and gave to the beggar. Beggar finished it very quickly also. Then the rich man asked the beggar, "Do you want more?" The beggar said, "No, thanks. My stomach is already full. Thank you very much." Then the rich man went inside again and brought a very attractive chocolate cake and gave to him. The beggar finished it more quicker and more faster. Then the rich man is asking the beggar, "Why do you always tell lies? Whenever I ask you, do you want more? You say no, no, no. No, thanks. I am full." This was your reply. But whenever I gave you more, you eat it very quickly, like a very hungry man. In fact, the beggar was, even though he was a hungry man, a beggar, but he was highly philosophical. He took the rich man outside his house and showed one box. The box was empty. He filled the box with so many stones and asked the rich man, "What do you feel? Is the box full now?" The rich man said, "Yes, it is full." Then the beggar brought some sand and filled the box again. Then asked the rich man, "Is it full now?" The rich man said, "Yes, it is full." So again, the beggar went and took some water and poured into the box. So the box was having enough space to accommodate the water also. Then the beggar asked the rich man, "Is it full now?" "Yes, it is full." So whenever I ask whether it is full, you say it is full, 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 full. But again, I am feeling it is getting filled up. So this is how our life is. The moral of the story is, in fact, in our school, 10 clubs are already running simultaneously. 10 clubs. You all will be a member of one or more clubs. And our teachers are the in charges of one or more clubs as well. So in fact, our teachers and our students are sick and tired with plenty of students clubs. Then what is the scope of a new club? Is there space? The moral of the story is, always there is more space to fill. Always there is more space to fill. Of course, there is space. And here, at this point of time, we have taken up a global goal with a wide perspective, with a wide mental horizon, with a broad sense, because this is proposed by United Nations, the confluence of 193 countries out of the 196 having membership in UN. They spend time, their representatives spend time, made thorough, deep research, And finally, they were highly successful in evolving in preparing a global agenda, a global proposal. This is a great lesson. This is the largest lesson ever made by human being, ever made by man in the world. This is the largest lesson. 17 goals have been identified, derived. The first and foremost goal is no poverty. Second one is no hunger. No hunger, zero hunger. No poverty, zero hunger. The very words of the 17 goals, what they prescribed is zero hunger. The next one is quality health and sanitation. The fourth one is quality education. Yes. And then life underwater, life on the land, global partnership is there, peace, justice, and strong institutions is one of the goals. Innovation, industrial innovation, clean water, clean energy, judicious consumption of energy, and so on. You can browse in the internet and learn and have a very deep inference about each and every goal. Look, this is a great opportunity for you to grab an international idea about how can we transform the world. This global sustainability goals were announced in 2015. And the time span for attaining the goals is 2030. So this is a roadmap to 2030. In fact, we are living in a world which is overwhelmed by knowledge and information, especially after the revolution of information technology. At the flick of a switch, any knowledge, any information will fall in front of us on the screen. So we are overwhelmed with the knowledge and information. At this point of time, it is very, very important to have clarity in our thoughts. Clarity of thinking is highly, highly essential. So wherever you go, whatever is your career goal, you are doing your education, now you are studying in the school, standard 6 to 12, being here in this session, maybe parents also. If your career goal is to be a doctor, yeah, there is room in the 17 goals. Good health and sanitation. You can take up, you can pursue this goal to be an international person, as Shashi Tharoor does, you know. You stretch your mind, you develop your mental horizon and pursue the goal, international goal, as a doctor. If you are an economist, you can work about what for poverty, in eradicating the poverty. Gender inequality. Gender equality is one of the goals. Inequality, reducing the inequality is another goal. And prestigious work, dignity of work is another goal. So whatever is your career goal, there is a room to take up. And the 10 clubs of our school, each club has taken one goal. So 10 goals have been already taken by the all clubs. And moreover, we have an SDG club exclusively representing the school SDG club. So the school SDG club will organize programs among the schools, inter-school activities. It will be further explained by the teacher in charge of school SDG club, that is none other than Mr. Dibendu, who is comparing this program. So my dear students, the club members will be representing each club, and they will introduce which is the goal they have taken up. And they will also introduce what is their plan in coming days, in coming months for this academic year to take up, to transmit, to cascade the very theme of each and every goal to the society, to the students, to every stakeholder of the school as well. So let us hopefully look forward to have such sessions. And in this session, of course, the club representatives will be doing something marvelous. Let us hopefully look forward to that. So thank you very much. Wish you all the best. Bye.
Thank you so very much. I was really impressed about the story narrated by Sir. Hope that all of us, we got the lessons and the morals of it. Sir also wanted to convey that there are a lot of opportunities always are there in front of us. So as if we get the first one, we are not supposed to make a stop. We should always go ahead to grab another opportunity. That was the main morals of the story narrated by Rashid sir. I thank you a lot, rather a ton to sir that explaining the goals, especially the 17 goals initiated by United Nations and what is the concept, especially by our school. As Vice Principal already described that how the SDG Council will be functioning on 2 tiers that I'll be explaining after some time. Now it's the time for the club representation. Hope the club members, those who are going to present themselves when they have taken one goal, as Rashid sir already discussed or informed. So we have 10 clubs and I'm going to give the order so that they can get ready for their presentation. The first and foremost club we'll be presenting is Islamic and Arabic Club. Second is Readers Club. Third, Agro Club. Next, Social Service Club. After that, Innovation Club, MUN Club, Theatre Arts Club, Sports Club, Maths Club, and finally, the Arts Club. So I'd like to request all teacher in charges for all these clubs, please get ready along with your participants or the presenters. Without much more delay, I'd like to call upon the first contestant from Islamic and Arabic Club. I'd like to make a request that please restrict your speech within maximum 3 minutes because we have 10 clubs. After that, we have more program, means we'll be having some sort of discussions on it. So the virtual platform is with Islamic and Arabic Club. Thank you. I'd like to call upon the teacher in charge first to introduce the participants from Islamic and Arabic Club. Over to you, sir. Can I get the response from you, sir?
Madhavi sir.
Who are the in charges? Please raise hand so that we can identify you
Madhavi
very
sir.
easily.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum. Yeah, sorry that I was not able to speak because the mic was not open. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Inshallah, to represent our club, the Islamic and Arabic Club, a student is with me, Malik. So Malik, inshallah, from the 11th standard, he will present his program representing the Arabic and Islamic Club. So I request Malik to do his job.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Yeah, that is over from our side. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot for showing us the path that how the Islamic and Arabic Club is aligning with the sustainable development for the human rights. Now I'd like to call upon the teacher in charge of Readers Club to introduce the participants. Over to you, sir.
Russell sir.
I'd like to request or call upon Mr. Russell. Please take charge for the virtual platform.
Okay. Now from our side, Readers Club, Imran will present. Okay.
Okay.
Imran, please. What's your floor to you?
Education is the most powerful weapon you can use to change the world, by Nelson Mandela. A very warm good morning to one and all present here. I am representing Readers Club, and our sustainable development goal is the fourth one, that is quality education. Achieving inclusive and quality education for all reaffirms the belief that education is one of the most powerful and proven vehicle for sustainable development. The goal ensures that all girls and boys complete free primary and secondary schooling by 2030. Now let's watch a short video on quality education. Goal 4 of the Sustainable Development Goals, quality education. What makes a quality education? Meet Billy. Billy is about to start high school and his parents want to make sure he gets the best education. His parents fear that the public school education is on the decline and will not provide him with a proper education. With some areas like Washington DC having a decrease in high school graduation, it's easy to see why Billy's parents may be skeptical. On the other hand, private school is very expensive and the teachers are not required to have teaching degrees, which may negatively impact the learning progress. There are several schools in their area, so they want to make sure the school they choose to send Billy to will give him the best chance of getting into a good college. When searching for a right school, there are a lot of things to consider. The definition of what a quality education is may differ from person to person, but there are some important factors that should be included. Number 1. Finding a place that will teach the way your child needs to learn is one of the most important factors to consider regarding quality education. People learn in different ways. These include but are not limited to visual, verbal, and physical. Finding a place that utilizes all forms will help a child get most out of what is being taught to them. Number 2. School size is also important. At a school with larger class sizes, a child may not get the attention that they need. Smaller schools can sometimes be underfunded and not be able to provide your child with all the resources that they need. And lastly, be on the lookout for quality, dedicated teachers who are willing to go above and beyond for their students. All these will lead to a highly educated adult. A proper education is the starting point to successful and bright futures. So, what can we do to achieve this goal of quality education? Ask our government to place education as a priority in both policy and practice. Lobby our governments to make firm commitments to provide free primary school education to all. Encourage the private sector to invest resources in the development of educational tools and facilities. And finally, urge NGOs to partner with youth and other groups to foster the importance of education. Thank you.
Okay, that is from Readers Club. Okay.
Sir, is this over from your side?
So,
Okay, Readers Club. So thank you, Master Imran, for explaining very effectively what about the quality education and how we can achieve this goal within our parameters. Moving for the next club, that is Agro Club, I'd like to request the teacher in charge of Agro Club to take the control of this virtual platform. Over to you, sir. Thank you.
Zakir sir.
Sir, I cannot. Yes. Good morning to you.
Okay.
Yes. So Agri Club event will be represented by Amal Mohammed, the events coordinator, followed by Mohammed Nasim and Ihan Mohammed. Okay, my children, take all this. Thanks.
Respected principal, HOs, teachers, and my dear friends. Good morning to all. I am Amal Mohammed, and I am the program coordinator of the Agro Club. Today, we are here to brief about the plans we are having for the upcoming school assembly. As you know, the UN Sustainable Development Goals are 17 goals that is required to be achieved for a better and more sustainable future for all. And our club will be presenting an assembly on the second theme, Zero Hunger. Now I call upon Master Nasim for explaining the theme, Zero Hunger. Nasim, you are inaudible. Hello, Nasim. Since Nasim is facing some difficulties, we'll be moving on.
Yes. Amal Mohammed, you can go ahead.
Yes, sir. So these are our programs for the day. We'll be starting off with a panel discussion on Global Hunger Index, cause of global hunger, strategies to attain the goals, and remedies and solutions. Then we'll be having a video presentation on local and global initiatives to attain the goal, after which comes the Agro Club's future plans. These are our objectives. They include ending global hunger, achieving food security, providing improved nutrition, and promoting sustainable agriculture. We also have several facts about the global hunger. About 1 in 9 people on Earth don't have enough food to lead a healthy and active life. 66 million primary school age children attend these classes hungry across the developing world, and more than 820 million people are hungry globally. These facts, along with the previous facts, will be clearly explained during the assembly. Then there are mainly 3 causes for global hunger. They are conflict, poverty, and climate change. Now let us watch 2 short videos on the after effect of global hunger. As you can see, the children are searching the trash for food, which is a very disturbing sight to see. Now I call upon Master Ihan to explain the strategies to attain the goal.
Strategies to attain the goal. Maintain genetic diversity in food production. Establishment of plant and seed banks at regional, national, and international levels. Utilization of genetic resources and associated traditional knowledge. Prevent agricultural trade restrictions. Climate resilient agriculture. Climate smart agriculture on the land. And engaging youth to move this global agenda forward. Youth has to actively engage in it to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. Now let's see the resolution. 0 stunned children under the age of 2. 100% access to adequate food all year round. All food systems are sustainable. 100% increase in smallholder productivity and income. Zero loss or waste of food. We raise the slogan, food for all, good for all. Thank you.
That's it from the Agro Club. Thank you.
Thank you, Agro Club, for this beautiful presentation on the topic. Now I'd like to call upon the teacher in charge from Social Service Club. Over to you, sir.
Come on, sir.
Hi, sir. Good morning to all. It's me, Abdul Samad, teacher in charge of Social Service Club. Here, Mr. Said Muhammad is with me to present our goal. It is nothing but no poverty. I invite Master Said Muhammad to present the ideas of Social Service Club on the global goal, no poverty. Said Muhammad.
Yes, sir. Respected principal, vice principal, HOS, supervisors, teachers, and my dear friends. A warm good morning to all present in this fascinating event. My name is Said Muhammad, and I am representative of Social Service Club. And our goal is no poverty, end poverty in all its form and everywhere.
Poverty, the enigma of humanity, which can't be solved with easy tricks. Poverty is the worst form of violence and parent of revolution and crime. It should be eradicated with powerful weapons as willpower and optimism. It is the curse of the world. It is the pain of heart. It is poison to the dreams. Poverty is not being without money, but being without hope. Come on, let's tackle the fiendish hands of poverty with chain of togetherness and tolerance. Poverty.
At a glance, the goal one aims to end poverty in all its form, everywhere. For the first time, as a part of Sustainable Development Goals, countries have committed to reducing child poverty. Children experience poverty differently from adults. Their needs and expectations are different. And for children, the effect of poverty can be lifelong. Nevertheless, the child poverty is rarely differentiated from adult poverty, and its special dimensions are often not recognized. Facts and figures. According to the most recent estimates, in 2015, 10% of the world population, or 734 million people, lived on less than $1.90. Southern Asia or Sub-Saharan Africa expected to see a largest increase in the extreme poverty, with an additional of 32 million and 26 million people in the extreme poverty will be increased, leaving below the international poverty line as a result of the pandemic. The share of the world workers living in extreme poverty fell by half over the last decade, from 14.3% in 2010 to 7.1% in 2019. Even before the COVID-19, the baseline projection suggested that the 6% of the global population would still be living in extreme poverty in 2030. Missing the target of the ending poverty, the fallout from the pandemic threatened to push over 70 million people into the extreme poverty. One out of five children lives in extreme poverty, and the negative effect of the poverty and the deprivation in the early years have ramifications that can last in a lifetime. In 2016, 55% of the world population, about 4 billion people, did not benefit from any form of social protection. So our targets are mainly 5 things. 1. By 2030, eradicate extreme poverty for all people everywhere, currently measured as people living less than $1.25. Second one, by 2030, reduce at least half the proportion of the men, women, and children of all ages living in poverty in all its dimensions according to the national definitions. Third one, implement the nationally appropriate social protection system and measure for all, including flows, and by 2030, achieve substantial coverage of the poor and the vulnerable. Fourth one, by 2030, ensure that all men and women, in particularly the poor, have equal right to economic resources, well access to the basic services, ownerships, control over the land and forms of the poverty, inheritance, natural resources, appropriate new technologies, and financial services, including microfinance. Fifth one, by 2030, build the resilience of the poor, those in the vulnerable situation, and reduce their exposure and vulnerability to the climate-related and extreme events and other economic and social and environmental disasters and shock. So, what are the main reasons for the global poverty? So, first one, inequality and marginalization, poor healthcare system, especially for mothers and children, climate change, lack of education, lack of government support, lack of jobs and livelihoods, less utilization of resources, and conflicts and wars. So, how can we solve this problem? To eradicate the poverty from our world. Properly, we have to identify the issues, allocating proper time and resources, creating organization and community to work locally, creating job opportunities, providing access to healthcare, empowering women, and microfinance. So let's work together to eradicate this cruel curse from the world. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, the Social Service Club. Now we'll move forward to the Innovation Club. So I'd like to call upon the teacher in charge of Innovation Club to take charge of this virtual platform. Over to you, sir.
Good morning to all. On behalf of Innovation Club, I invite Aditya Madhu Nair for a short video presentation regarding the affordable and clean energy. Aditya.
Hi everyone, my name is Aditya Madhu Nair, representation with Innovation Club. Out of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, we have taken up the 7th one, affordable and clean energy. So we have a small video representation on it. Let's dive into it.
Earth is a beautiful planet. Everyone wants to protect it. But with more and more people living here, the demand for energy is rising. The United Nations has made it a priority to make affordable electricity and clean energy accessible by everyone by 2030. So we could do simple things like cook food to sustain ourselves and our family, and extraordinary things like explore the outer space with minimal impact with the world around us. Electricity was invented in the 1800s. It sparked a massive transformation for millions of people around the world and revolutionized how they lived. But 1.2 billion people still don't have electricity. For them, life is a challenge. But new clean energy like solar power converts sunlight to electricity, and wind turbines, which converts kinetic energy, and making it more easier and stable to supply and access electricity. It is imperative that we continue to invest in renewable energies not just for ourselves, but for the health of our earth too. For centuries, mankind has mined the earth for fuels like crude oil and coal to manufacture goods and transportation, but when consumed, fossil fuels emit dangerous toxins that contribute towards climate change by increasing the temperature, and our harvestation of nuclear power has also proved catastrophic. As evidenced by the Fukushima disaster in 2011, our reliance on these kind of energies has had consequences, but it is possible to reverse some of the damages we've caused. Progress is being made between 1990 and 2010. The number of people with access to electricity has increased by 1.7 billion. In California alone, there are more than 242,000 solar projects throughout the state. And cool new technologies is helping us to generate 20% of the global power from renewable sources. In the city of London, the body heat of computers are harvested and is used to heat homes. Did you know that the vibration produced when revelers hit the dance floor can be stored and transformed to clean energy in special tiles using Hazel electric harvesting technology? We could all be part of this solution to generate a revolution in energy production and consumption by 2030.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Is this over from the Innovation Club? Then we'll move forward to the next club. So thank you very much, Innovation Club, to taking the point number or the goal number 7. That is, is it still left? Shenu teacher?
No, sir, it's finished.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much
Thank
for selecting the goal number 7, that is affordable and clean energy. And it was beautifully explained by the participants. Now I'll move forward for the next club, that is MUN Club. So I'd like to request the teacher in charge of MUN Club to take charge of this virtual platform. Over to you, sir.
Mr. Sedalavi.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Here, we, the MUN Club, present the theme Climate Action. I invite Master Arjun, Muhammad Rayan, and Vaibhav to present the theme. Yes, Arjun. Start.
So good morning, respected teachers, my dear friends, and all members present here. Today, myself, Arjun CS, my friends Ryan and Vaibhav are here on the behalf of MUN Club to discuss about the sustainable development goal.
Interruption, sorry. Please enable the spotlight, admin, for these three boards.
Yes, sir, we are spotlighted now.
It's enabled.
Shall I continue, sir?
Yeah, those who are with the virtual hands on the screen are required to be spotlighted. Please, admin, please do it.
Yes, sir.
Sir, we are spotlighted. Yes, we are spotlighted.
Okay.
Then once again, good morning, respected teachers, my dear friends, and all members present here. Today, myself, Arjun CS, my friends Ryan and Vaibhav are here on behalf of the MUN Club to discuss about Sustainable Development Goal, the one climate action. Climate change poses a fundamental threat to the places, species, and people's livelihood. We all know what climate change is at this point. There is no need to explain it too much. It's been one of the most pressing issues plaguing the planet for the past decade. Global warming due to greenhouse gases, air pollution, we've all heard the gist of it. But many people still don't seem to understand the severity of the situation.
Due to global warming, the climate becomes hotter and worse. More global warming occurs in the atmosphere, the worse the situation of our planet gets. Especially in the poles, the glaciers melt down to increase the water level, flooding the coast cities and structures.
The extent to which climate change will impact our society depends on the exposure, the vulnerability, and the type of hazards, which is why building awareness and capacity to combat climate change is a goal we must achieve for the sustainable development on this planet.
Spreading the knowledge and awareness is a key factor for changing the catastrophic situation our world is going through right now. Observations, predictions, and projections about expected and existing weather-related events or slow onset events. Rising awareness is thus a basis for capacity building. Capacity building, in short, is building the process by which individuals or organizations improve or retain the knowledge, equipments, or other resources.
So that was a basic outlook on the Sustainable Development Goal, raising awareness and capacity building. Now let's look at what are some of the efforts taken following these methods and how many of them have come to fruition.
One of the most prominent figures in the fight against climate change is Greta Thunberg, a youth activist. In 2018, then 15-year-old Greta Thunberg started a school strike in Sweden to draw attention to the climate crisis, and since then, her message has spread all across the world. Young people across the world have followed her path, striking and marching to make clear to adults and decision makers that this is a true emergency.
Now let's look at the UAE. UAE's commitment to climate change was demonstrated by the fact that UAE was the one of the first countries to ratify the Paris Agreement Act in September 2016.
One of the many foundations and organizations UAE has to combat climate change is the Zayed International Foundation for the Environment. It promotes sustainable development through environmental initiatives by raising public awareness, conducting workshops, seminars, and community activities.
So, taking those as role models, what can you do as an individual to even somewhat combat climate change? Of course, reducing your own carbon footprint while prompting others to do the same by spreading awareness is one of the best things you can do.
Climate change is not natural, at least not how we are seeing it. Fixing one problem like changing automobiles to electric cars won't fix much, and blaming the rich for everything won't either. What we are seeing is caused by humans. We have exploited our planet too much, and we are seeing the effects of it now.
The thing is, though, we already have solutions to these problems. The only thing we need to do now is raise awareness and enact these solutions by replacing all our problematic technologies with less problematic and more efficient ones.
In short, combating climate change is absolutely essential to afford sustainable development on the planet. As a resolution, we of the MUN Club, as well as students of the Model School, pledge to uphold our roles in realizing the Sustainable Development Goal, raising awareness and capacity, and making a difference in the combat against climate change and secure the future by 2030. Hence, we all need to work together, be aware, and set our goals for a better future. Thank you.
Thank you very much, the MUN Club, for discussing it very elegantly. Now I'd like to call upon Sdg on behalf of Theatre Arts Club to present the 12th goal, that is responsible consumption and production. Over to you, Sdg.
Thank you, sir. Hi, good morning. Hi, good morning, honored principal, respected vice principal, student affair managers, and my dear teachers and friends. I, Sdg of S.D.G, will be presenting you one of the goals of sustainable development initiated by the United Nations in 2015. That is, responsible consumption and production. What is meant by responsible consumption? Responsible consumptions means that buyers, whether involved in the economy as a private or public entity or as a citizen consumer, must make their choice, taking into account environmental impacts at all stages of the product life cycle for both goods and services. Sustainable consumption and production is about promoting resource and energy efficiency, sustainable infrastructure, and providing access to basic services, green and decent jobs, and a better quality of life for all. Why is responsible consumption and production important? Achieving economic growth and sustainable development requires that we urgently reduce our ecological footprint by changing the way we produce and consume goods and resources. This can help with food security and shift us towards a more resource-efficient economy. How can we reduce resource consumption? 8 solutions for natural resource depletion. Make electricity use more efficient. It means that conserving electricity when not needed. Use more renewable energy like solar energy, hydro energy, wind energy, and nowadays electric cars are created for conserving energy. Promote sustainable fishing rules. We need to protect our marine ecosystem for the future generation and for the balance of the ecosystem. Drive less. Nowadays, everyone is having private cars. The increase of pollution, the amount of pollution is increasing. So I really advise you to use public transport more often. Recycle more, and improve recycling systems. Use sustainable agriculture practices and reduce food waste. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you, Alvin JG. Thank you very much. Now I'll move upon to the next club, that is sports club. So I'd like to ask or request the teacher in charge of sports club to take the virtual platform and to introduce the participants.
Mr. Chandran.
Yes, sir. Good morning, all of you. Sports Club PPT presentation will be due Master Sanjay Madhav from 12th. Our topic is good health and well-being. Sanjay, please.
Yes, sir. 1 second. Okay. Can everyone see this?
Yes.
I hope everyone sees this. The groundwork for all happiness is good health. Respected principal, HOS, supervisors, teachers, and my dear friends, a very warm good morning to you all. As a member of the sports club, I would like to take this time to speak a few words about the third sustainable development goal, good health and well-being. We all know the famous phrase, health is wealth, and we all stand by it. We try to maintain a healthy diet, get 8 hours of sleep, do some kind of physical activity, and ensure that we keep our body and mind as healthy as it can ever be. Now you might ask, why is good health and well-being so important? The SDG aspires to ensure health and well-being for all, including a bold commitment to end the epidemics of AIDS, tuberculosis, malaria, and other communicable diseases by 2030. It also aims to achieve universal health coverage and provide access to safe and effective medicines and vaccines for all, as there is a very large part of the world that don't have the proper medical facilities, such as appropriate medicines and vaccines, and number of hospitals. And this SDG ensures that everyone gets basic medical needs. Since it is a very vast topic, and it will take a lot of time to discuss about each topic, we'll be talking on how we are going to we'll be talking about on reducing mortality from non-communicable diseases and promote mental and physical health. Non-communicable diseases, also known as chronic diseases, are diseases that are not passed from person to person. They are of long duration and generally slow progression. Some of the most common NCDs are cardiovascular diseases, cancer, chronic respiratory diseases, diabetes. Here is a diagrammatic representation of what the real cause of non-communicable diseases are and the different types of non-communicable diseases. So the root causes are alcohol abuse, physical inactivity, smoking, and an unhealthy diet. Non-communicable diseases, or NCDs, kill 41 million people each year worldwide, which is equivalent to 71% of all deaths globally. In the region of America, 5.5 million deaths are by NCDs. Each year, 15 million people and 2.2 million in the region of America die from an NCD between the ages of 13 and 69 years. Over 85% of these premature deaths occur in low and middle income countries. Cardiovascular diseases account for most NCD deaths, or 7.9 million people annually, followed by cancer, which is 9 million, respiratory diseases, 3.9 million, and diabetes, 1.6 million globally. These four groups diseases account for over 80% of all premature deaths. And the main reasons for it are tobacco use, physical inactivity, the harmful use of alcohol, and unhealthy diets increase the risk from an NCD. The key components of the response to NCDs are detection, screening, and treatment of NCDs, as well as palliative care. This is a worldwide trend in non-communicable disease mortality and progress towards the Sustainable Development Group from both genders, male and female. As you can see, these are color coordinated for different NCDs, and it is segregated in different age groups. The Global Monitoring Framework is a centerpiece of the Global NCD Framework, which provides a clear vision for action by 2025. The visions are 30% reduction in tobacco use, 10% reduction in physical inactivity, 25% reduction in raised blood pressure, 0% increase in diabetes or obesity, 10% reduction in harmful use of alcohol, 30% reduction in salt sodium intake, and 80% availability of essential medical and basic technologies to treat CVD and other non-NCDs. 50% of eligible people receiving drug therapy and counseling to prevent heart attack and stroke. Ways to prevent non-communicable diseases. Now we all know what non-communicable diseases are and what the causes are as well. Now we look forward into what the ways to prevent non-communicable diseases are. To reduce the burden of NCDs in children, adolescents, and young people, we must address prevention, treatment, and management. Some methods of prevention opportunities include nutritional status before and during pregnancy, good nutrition, a healthy environment, prevention of injuries, freedom from tobacco and secondhand smoke, prevention of toxic stress, including physical activities in routines, promotion of mental health and healthy development. Mental health and physical health go hand in hand with each other. Poor mental health is a risk factor for chronic physical conditions. People with mental disorders such as depression, anxiety disorders, schizophrenia, eating disorder, and addictive behaviors, people with chronic physical conditions are prone to developing poor mental health. It's important to pay attention to both your physical and your mental health, which can help you achieve an overall wellness and set you on a path to recovery. So here are the 10 ways to prevent mental illness. Avoidance of alcohol and other psychoactive agents or drugs. Exercise, improvement on your social life, self-worth and value. Be willing to forgive, learn to meditate, go for healthy meals, always volunteer, take good rest, and finally, and the most important one, seek for help. Help as in medical help or comfort as well. But with that, I end my presentation. The best investment you ever make is on your own health. Thank you.
Thank you, Sports Club, for explaining in so detail what is all about the mental health and the physical health to becoming in a state of well-being, to be happy and to do something in a society. So moving to the next club, Maths Club. So I'd like to request the teacher in charge of Maths Club to take control of the virtual platform. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Kunyabdullah.
The goal taken up by Math Club is to reduce inequality. Madhav of 10H will introduce and Harshdeep will speak on the topic. Madhav and Harshdeep.
Yes, sir.
Sustainable Development Goals, also known as the Global Goals, were adopted by United Nations in 2015 as a universal call to action to end poverty, protect the planet, and ensure that by 2030, all the people enjoy peace and prosperity. Good morning, one and all present here. I am Madhu Santosh, and I got a privilege to announce the SDG goal selected by Math Club. We Math Club members selected the 10th SDG goal, that is reduced inequality. Inequality refers to a phenomenon of unequal or unjust distribution of resources and opportunities among members of a given society. Now, my friend Harshdeep will talk more about our goal, reduced inequality.
Hi, I'm Harshdeep and I'll talk about how we can reduce inequality. I can't breathe. I can't breathe, said George Floyd before he became a victim of police brutality and died because his skin was black. I want to be educated, Mom. I want to go to school. Girls like you should be home doing work in the kitchen, not learning in school. Give us freedom to practice our religion, said the Muslim people in Angola who were denied rights to practice their religion. All of us in this assembly are lucky. All people living in this country are lucky. We are lucky to be in a country where all are equal. All the races, all the genders, all the religions are treated equally. No one is biased just because their skin color is dark. Here in UAE, diversity is respected and enjoyed, not biased. But it isn't the same everywhere. Gender inequality is still practiced in some places, although I admit it's not as severe as it used to be back in the day. In India, some people still believe that girls should not be involved in any kind of self-educational work and should be confined to household work. Around 65% of 15 to 18-year-old girls in India who are not in school were engaged in some kind of household work. In some places, discrimination due to skin color is practiced by some people. In some places, practicing your religion can somehow end you in jail. Is this what we really want in society? Will this do us any good? These are social evils that are supposed to be abolished. We need to change the bias in our head. A girl can be an engineer. A girl can also be a technician. A human can be anything they desire. A human can get educated. A human can practice their religion. A human can have their beliefs. As of now, we don't see equality everywhere we go, but the situation is improving. Remember how George Floyd was killed because he was Black? Almost 26 million Americans protested against skin color discrimination and police brutality in 2020 during the COVID pandemic. Everyone stood up fighting for equality. They did not care about COVID because they knew social evils are way worse. They put their life online to help the future generation not lose theirs. India is also taking measures to provide education facilities everywhere. The idea of education is gaining education to all, is gaining respect. More girls are going to school. Hence, girls are appearing in more careers and the society is respecting that. And religious bias is almost completely abolished from most developed countries. All of this happened because people decided to speak up. People started changing their views on certain things and decided to look at it from a different perspective, a better perspective. Since we are the future generation, we should keep up the good beliefs and abolish the social evils. And if you see any kind of social discrimination anywhere, don't be afraid to speak up. because at the end of the day, we are all human inside, no matter what. Thank you.
Thank you, Maths Club, for explaining the goal of SD so beautifully. So now we'll be moving to the last club. Last means is the 10th club of Model School, the Arts Club. So I'd like to request the teacher in charge of Arts Club to take control of the virtual platform. Over to you, sir. Thank you.
Okay, Master Ayman, on behalf of Arts Club, Master Ayman will present. Ayman, please.
Yes, sir. Can everyone see? Okay.
Yes, Ayman, proceed.
Good morning to one and all present here. Life below water. That's our topic. Underwater art. Art makes people optimistic about their future. Art can be used to help spread a message of inspiration, making people achieve great things in life. Art can be a form of communication between people to focus on common issues for the betterment of humankind. The water life is depicted as beautiful sculptures and artworks all around the world. Art keeps the memory of the living beings under the water. The increased concentration of chemicals such as nitrogen and phosphorus in the coastal ocean promotes the growth of algal blooms, which can be toxic to underwater life and harmful to humans. The negative effects on health and the environment caused by algal blooms hurt local fishing and tourism industries. Thank you everyone and have a nice day.
Okay, so our Dibendu.
Thank you, Arts Club, for explaining and taking the initiative to explain one of the goals initiated by UN under Sustainable Development Goals. So hope that the students or those who are present over here, they have got a little bit understanding that what is all about these Sustainable Development Goals initiated and proposed by United Nations. Now, I'd like to go a little bit detail of the scope and the structures of this SDG Council and alignment with the model clubs. The first thing is that why it has been added into a school curriculum. You may have seen that it is already there in our school diary. So that why is it so? The main purpose of that, the students, that they are the maker, creator of the future generations. So if it is being conveyed or it can make a habit for those future generations, so the students are the most inspiring, energetic, so they can take up all these goals and they can also achieve it within very execution of their life skills they are gaining from the school and from the society. So to fulfill that sort of achievement or the goals, the school, model school, has taken up a great initiative to cater this SDG in 2 tiers as our respected vice principal described. So I'll be going into a small detail. I'll take very small duration to describe it. So first, that it will be having 2 tiers. Now you must have understood that one is that aligning with the model clubs. Second one, that particularly SDG Council that will be representing the model school on international platform. Now, how the international platform will be having many programs along with other international schools. And we have more programs in near future when we'll be establishing ourselves. And we have taken the initiatives in UAE, and we have invited many schools from India, from the other Gulf countries, and from the UAE. So many schools will be joining hands with us. So we are the initiator for this the first time. So that's a great initiative that our management has taken, and we must thank them that they have taken this a great responsibility to carry forward for the society and to make the society a better living state or a position. So from each and every section, we'll be selecting 2 members for the ambassador, chairman, and assistant chairman. The selection is almost on the way. After that, we'll be having a short meeting along with the coordinators from each and every section. Then we have one advisory board members, the panels. We have 5 or 6 teachers, and then the training will start for those particular representatives. They'll be always representing. We are having more than 8, 9, 10, or 11 participants from each and every sections. So we'll be having very effective training sessions for them, that how to represent it on the international platform. And the model clubs, they will also take up their goals. So it will also extend further into the future academic sessions. So this is a kind of the structures that the model school has adopted, and it will continue, and we'll be having many sessions, workshops, many things. So students who got the opportunity to get selected into the prestigious SDG Council to represent, especially on the international platform, obviously they will learn a lot, and they'll be feeling proud that yes, they have some life skills and how to face the international platform. So thank you very much for understanding the scope and the structures of the model school on SDG Council. Now I would like to move for the next event, that we'd like to hear some good things from the senior leaders. So first, I'd like to call upon the HOS of Girls Section, Dr. Hasina. Over to you, ma'am.
Mrs. Hasina will join very soon. Okay, she's getting ready.
Okay, so she will be joining very soon, and then we'll get connect with her. So moving to the next, the head of sections of primary, Mrs. Smita Rajesh, we'd like to hear some good and motivational speech and some explanations of this SDG. Over to you, ma'am.
Hello and very good morning to the group who have gathered here for a noble global cause. The United Nations Sustainable Development Agenda, adopted in 2015, includes 17 Sustainable Development Goals. This is to be achieved by 2030. Countries around the world have committed to take action to meet these goals. These goals are being set to make sure a clean and affordable energy, stopping global warming, ending hunger and poverty. And participating to achieve such great universal goal is indeed a proud moment for all of us. The more the students are exposed to this topic, the more their curiosity and compassion for others grow. By this, our school is aiming to develop global leaders who are able to lead and thrive in the global marketplace. I'm indeed proud to take part in this great event for the noble cause. Dear students, it is high time that you all start grabbing opportunities to get exposed to such clubs wherein you develop insights in critical issues around the world. My best wishes to all of you. Have a good day. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Smita ma'am. Yes, the aim is to achieve and without any stop, and we should learn from the surroundings wherever we can get an opportunity. Thank you very much. Now I'd like to call upon our boy supervisor, Mr. Rafiq, to felicitate
please
the August gathering.
Mr. Dibendu, please call upon Mr. Sultan.
Sure, sir. So I'd like to request the supervisor from the boys section, Mr. Sultan, to facilitate the August gathering with his motivational speech. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Dibendu. Good morning and Assalamu alaikum. Respected Honorable Principal, Vice Principal, Student Affairs Manager,
are you ready?
HOS, supervisors, teachers, and my dear friends. A very warm good morning to all. Today, for the model school, two great events are happening. Number one, incorporating SDG, Sustainable Development Goals, information in the minds of the student. Number two, releasing the newsletter, the Model Chronicle. As all we have discussed, SDG adopted in 2015 includes 17 goals to be achieved by 2030. Countries around the world have committed to take action to meet these goals, such as making energy clean and affordable, stopping global warming, etc., as we have mentioned. But why you have to know about these goals? And why, as a student, why you must know this? There are some reasons. Number one, students need to learn about the world. See, these SDGs are inherently global in nature. So learning about this helps students develop insights into critical issues, such as lack of access to clean water, etc. So these issues are inseparable from culture. Students need to learn about the world where you are around them, correct? Where you are. And second reason is, you must be active participants in the world where you live in. In this interconnected world, we need to prepare you to be global leaders. When students, you become global leader and you have an appreciation for cultural differences, and you take responsibility to enact change on a global scale. The next one is, you have to grow empathy and compassion. When you are exposed to important SDGs topics such as poverty, hunger, and education, you begin to understand the unique challenges facing communities. By taking empathy and transforming into action-based compassions, you get involved in local organization, and that creates change and unite our world. And the last one, students, you are inspired to take action. Once you have an idea of SDGs and why they are necessary, and you will be inspired to make positive changes in big and small. Let me take this opportunity to congratulate and wish all the teachers and students, those who worked behind and working behind, together with teachers and students. We can be a powerful force for achieving the United Nations vision of a more peaceful, healthy, and equitable world. Thanks for the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, sir, for your inspiring words, especially focusing on the leadership. Yes, we need to be a leader, and we need to show the path and the directions for others, and we need to fulfill our targets. Thank you so very much. Now I'd like to request our HOS of Girls section, Dr. Hasina, to felicitate with her speech to the August gatherings. Over to you, ma'am.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much. Good morning, all. Assalamu alaikum. Respected principal, vice principal, HOS of different sections, supervisors, teachers, the club coordinators of each club, and my dear. It is my honor and pleasure to address this important SDG Council meeting of boys section. Thank you so much for your invitation first. As we know, the main agenda for sustainable development is transforming our world. I hope now all our goals now, 17 sustainable goals. We can work together for this to reach our vision. Through these actions, we can hope that to end poverty, protect the planet, and ensure that by 2030, all people enjoy peace and prosperity. I appreciate all the club coordinators and the student representatives of each and every SDG council, as well as I congratulate SOD department head, Mr. Dibendu sir, for this to take this much great initiative for this SDG council success. Wish you all the best for your future endeavors and actions. Thank you so much. All the best.
Thank you so much, Dr. Hasina. Hope we'll be overcoming all the hurdles to achieve the targets or whatever the mission we are actually to be accomplished within our time frame. Thank you so very much. Now I'd like to call upon the head boy to felicitate the gathering if you are available. If you're available, you can raise hand so that we can identify you and we can put you on the spotlight. Okay, so it seems that he is unavailable. Is there? Okay. So we'll move on to the next and the much awaited things, that is our school periodical magazines, or rather we can say the newsletters. I'd like to call upon Mr. Russell to introduce the model newsletter, that's the school newsletter named as the Model Chronicle. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Respected principal, vice principal, the choice teachers, and my dear students. Once Confucius, the Chinese philosopher, said, I hear and I forget. I see, I remember. I do and I understand. I think the last one, I do and understand. So we have successfully completed the newsletter called the Model Chronicle. Unprecedented, though together with wholehearted support, we could sail through the torrid times. Our determination and grit to succeed in all circumstances was tried and tested, especially during this period of COVID. In this digital era, with so many other avenues of communication available to us, so many things are available to us, the school newsletter is updated, relevant, imparting news that has already been harshed to other or to the school platform. I think it is there. Now, what is the role of a school newsletter? A school newsletter is the perfect medium to allow responsible expression, challenging of ideas, peer-to-peer influence, and much more, many other persons. So my advice to the students, what the students should achieve from this. I think it is an outlet for your creativity, students' creativity, ideas, and developing critical thinking skill. The model chronicle has strived to shape and offline the newsletter into a responsive, dynamic content, including images, report, achievements containing digital newsletter, which can be built and read on the web. This newsletter will create an interaction and engage the students. Definitely, next point is students will learn, because students means you will learn valuable skills. What are the valuable skills? That writing skill, editing skill, and designing. The news letter will provide the basic to learn these skills, embrace these skills, or refine these skills. It embeds ethical practices to develop, trace, and draw out the creativity and potential of the student. Now, again, one more point I would like to state that it helps the students develop for example, develop daily reading that will last their entire lives. As digital newsletter contains the images, short, transparent, all these things are already there with you. So I would like to just quote of about that Charles Federer, a global education thought leader, means the author and chairman of the Central Curriculum Design. Once he said, the world has changed so fundamentally in the last few decades that the roles of learning and education in day-to-day living have also changed forever. Now, again, I like to quote one. I think it's that's a Harvard Gardner, the American development psychologist. He said five. I think it is 5 minds for the future. So I would like to quote two minds. First one is synthesizing mind. Second one is a creating mind. Now, the last I would like to quote from the Paul Meyer, is an American writer. He said, productivity is never an accident. It is always the result of a commitment to excellence, intellect, planning, and creativity. So students, the newsletter definitely will create you all these things. Thank you.
Thank you, Russell, sir. Thank you very much. You have explained that what is the importance of the periodical newsletters and how it is going to have the great impact on the students in learning and in execution of their life skills. Now, to do the honor, I'd like to call upon our respected Vice Principal to release the model chronicle. So,
good morning all. The time is too much delayed, so I don't want to speak anything regarding the newsletter. It is aptly conveyed by Mr. Russell and others. Now I am officially releasing the newsletter. If you permit me to share the screen, I can do that. Okay. And this will be reaching you from today onwards. The link will be shared now itself. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Now is the time to acknowledge the support for the SDG Council and as well as to organize this program. Technically, we call it as the vote of thanks. So I'd like to thank our management the school management and the senior leaders, including our honorable principal, respected vice principal, all senior leaders, HOSs, supervisors, and the team of the coordinators. And of course, the IT team, Mr. Sawad and Mr. Kailas, they are behind to organize the technical arrangements for showing this program. I'd like to also thank the students, those who had presented in a very beautiful manner, and they also took the pain to showcase the talents and to spread the awareness of the program SDG Council. With this note, I'd like to thank again to all of us who were the support for this program. Thank you. Thank you so very much. Now, I'd like to request all of you to rise for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Okay, the session is being dispersed. Thank you for your presence till the last moment. Thank you very much.